on, everybody? Erica here with yet again another video. Hope you guys had a great weekend. So when we think of our mothers, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You think love, you think empathy, you think our lifeline to the world. You know, she's the first one we come in contact with when we come into this world. She's the first one to hold us. She's the first one to greet us. She's the first one to connect us to ourselves. But when you think of a narcissistic mother, what do you think this time? There's no empathy. There's no sense of emotional connection. There is just a big brick wall. And in this video, I'm going to give you the behaviors and traits of a narcissistic mother. But this video is going to be part 1 of 3 videos. Reason being, narcissistic mothers have a lot of behavioral traits that I'm sure some people can connect to, that they can resonate with. Okay, unfortunately, that is the case. But this is part 1 of 3. There's just too many behaviors, too many traits, all to fit in one video. I'll be here forever doing it. I can't do that. But I want to get at least the most important behavioral traits out first, so at least you guys get the idea of it. So without further ado, let's just get started. Now, a narcissistic mother is a mother that has been affected by narcissism or NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. What a narc mother will end up doing is one of two things. Either A, she'll end up abandoning her child or children because she feels that it robs her of her own uniqueness, because as we know, narcissists are all about themselves. They're self-absorbed. They're too special for things like that. Or B, if they end up staying with the children, what they'll end up doing is just completely blocking out any type of emotional attachment. Narcissists are incapable of empathizing with other people, and unfortunately their children are no exception to the rule. So if they're going to connect with their children, it's going to be a very strict boundary in between, that any emotional attachment, any emotional ties, anything that deals with empathy will not be reciprocated. The child or children are merely possessions of the parent, of the narc parent. Okay, and they are an extension of the parent. The parent will project onto the child what they feel about themselves. How they live their lives, they're living through the child. In reality, they're abusing their children, but they're posing to the world, everything's great. We're one big happy family. It's pretty redundant for a narcissist to have children when they can't even carry empathy. When a child needs empathy at its most, especially when they're young, they need to know the differences between empathy, sympathy, apathy. They need to be able to feel, because you're depriving them of those types of emotions. But in this video, I'm going to give you the tactics that the narcissist mother uses. Number 1, everything she does is deniable. There will always be a schematic reason, excuse, or explanation as to why she does what she does. So if she's cruel, cruelty is just covered with loving terms. Okay, slander and criticism is slyly disguised with concern. I just want what's best for you. I just want to help you. And very rarely will she tell you that she thinks you're inadequate. So if you were to accomplish something, you did something good, what she'll do is she'll counter your accomplishment with something that your sibling did. Or she'll just simply ignore you. Her put downs are simply by comparison. So she'll talk about how wonderful someone else is, or how great the accomplishment of someone else was, when that was the very same accomplishment that you had done. And she'll be careful to rationalize her manipulation, which will make it harder if you ever try to point out what kind of a bad person or bad behaviors it is that she has. It'll make it harder for others to see that. And a lot of the time, her rationalizing her manipulation, if she gets everyone else to kind of agree with her, the common response is, if you say something that reflects her negative behavior, most people would say, oh, I'm sure she didn't mean it like that. How many times have people heard that? I don't think she meant it like that. I'm sure she didn't mean it like that. Yeah, she did. Number 2, she'll make you look like you're crazy. So if you point out something to her, she'll come to you in response of saying, you have a very vivid imagination. You don't know what you're talking about. I do not even remember that happening. That is a common technique used to invalidate your reality, in which we've learned it's called gaslighting. She's basically trying to steer you to make you feel like you're the one who's losing it. But the reality of it is, she knows what was done. She knows what she did. And she's trying to make you feel as if you're the one going crazy because you don't know what you're talking about. She'll claim not to remember anything, which it could be a very memorable situation. But again, she doesn't know what you're talking about. Therefore, you don't know what you're talking about. Number 3, she's a liar in too many ways to count. So if she's talking about something that has emotional significance to her, chances are she's lying. She's very careful with her lies. It's done thoughtfully and deliberately in a way that can be covered up. And she'll go a step ahead. She'll lie in advance before you could even get your word in edgewise. So she'll go to others and lie to them in advance, so that way when you come to the point that you're going to approach people in trying to point out a situation that has occurred, the common response will be, I already know, I spoke with your mother about it. She explained everything to me. So before you could even get your words out, she's already done it. And she'll lie to you blatantly, claiming to not remember the things that she knows that she's done. But if she's forced to acknowledge her wrongdoings, common phrases that she would use is, maybe I might have. Be careful with that. The next one is, she favoritizes. When it comes to the children, she'll have a scapegoat, she'll have the golden child. The golden child will get all of the privileges, and as long as she's fulfilling the narc mother's needs and wants, she'll be unaffected negatively. The scapegoat, however, does not have needs or wants. In fact, the scapegoat is the one who will be doing the caring. The golden child does no wrong. The scapegoat, however, is the one who's always at fault, and this creates the division amongst the siblings. The golden child in the end will end up defending the narc parent, the narc mother, and indirectly blaming the scapegoat child for everything that goes wrong. Sound like someone you know? The next one, she's exploitative. Okay, she'll be willing to use manipulation to get things out of people, including her own children, for nothing in return. She'll be the one to set up a bank account for you, naming herself as the trustee, where she can withdraw money if she chooses to. And if you put money into the account, she'll automatically take it out. She feels entitled. Narcissists feel entitled. And because she feels she's your mother, that she's entitled to do certain things, even if it goes against what your wishes are. She may go as far as stealing from her kids, be it if it's money or even stealing their identity. Okay? She will exploit the child to absorb any kind of abuse from an abusive partner. So let's say the husband comes home in a drunken rage. She will complain about the child and their bad behavior so that the rage is vented towards the child. Or she may exploit the child to keep a sick relationship intact, like a marriage intact. Because the alternative is either getting a divorce and working, and that's something she can't have. These types of relationships, this is sick and sadistic, but a lot of the time, these type of narcissistic mothers exploit their children to sexual molestation, and that they allow their partners to molest their children just to keep their relationships intact. And they'll basically turn the blind eye, claiming to never have noticed anything. Or if the molested child decides to confront the mother and tell her what has been going on, the mother will become enraged and actually accuse the child of lying. So guys, these are some of the things that a narcissistic mother does. A narcissistic mother can be anyone you know. It could be your mom, it could be your sister, it can be your girlfriend, it can be your ex, it can be your niece, your daughter, it could be any type of mother that is a female that you know. So discern the signs, discern the behaviors, okay? The only difference between a narcissistic male and a narcissistic female is gender. But a narcissist will always be what we all know them to be: selfish, unempathetic people who only want things done their way. Okay? Video 1 of 3. I'm going to get started on the next video with more traits of the narcissistic mother. And I hope that this has done something for you guys, okay? So until next time, namaste.